Still ahead here on Good Morning Arizona. Whether you're leaving a babysitter in charge after your kids get out of school and helping carpool a few on your own, you're not going to want to miss this next topic we're talking about.
Yes, where to draw the line with misbehaving misbehaving other kids. You're watching Good Morning Arizona. Stay with us. We'll have advice on how to reprimand those children possibly.
Hey, now the schools are back in session here. Many parents out there like to help each other out, whether it's picking up a few kids, watching them after class, which can be a convenience, but it also can raise some issues, like if somebody else's kids get out of line or misbehaves. In fact, Dr. Michael Yasinski is here to talk to us about different ways that you can discipline those kids and how they can affect. But I think the biggest issue at hand is, as a parent watching somebody else's kids, is, well, they're not my kids, and you don't want to cross that line with them.
Right, no, exactly. I think that has to be key, and keeping in mind that really you're not the parent who's established this long-term, trusting, loving relationship of kind of which is the foundation of your ability to discipline them. You're taking a parent that they don't trust, they don't love, they don't have that connection with, but yet you don't want them spanking them or hitting them. That the consequences for a child can be truly long-standing with someone laying hands on them, or also if there's other kids around, one of the worst things you want to do is single a child out where they're getting disciplined and maybe the other kids aren't, even if it was their fault. The lasting effects on confidence and self-esteem really can be grounded in such a small one incident like that and affect them long term.
So then how do you get around doing it then? Because obviously you deal with kids that need to be disciplined because they did something that is not allowed.
For sure. I think a little bit more tricky when there's multiple children that aren't yours, but one of the best things you can do is coordinate with the parent who drops them off, come up with a little bit of guidelines so at least it's consistent with what they're getting at home, which really helps. In terms of not doing it in front of other kids, I recommend having them maybe participate in a different activity, but sell it more as, all right, we're going to have you come participate in this activity or come hang out with me for a little while, rather than scolding them in front of the other kids.
And sending them to a corner or doing some alienating them out and sending them by themselves. Okay, interesting. So something you should really talk over with the other parents about. I mean, is there a point where you just need to say no more and I can't pick your kid up anymore because the problems could get too severe?
Yeah, I think it's much better to be honest with the parent and tell them rather than damage the kids. At that age, to have lasting problems, just not worth it. And you can also let the parents know, if you are willing to take the kid, that at least what happened, so they can properly talk to their kid when they get home and then properly discipline them as they see fit. So as long as, even though they're not there, as long as they bring up what happened, talk to them properly, discipline them in their fashion, then that's going to be much better on the child than if the other parent takes those measures.
Right.
So,
and I would assume that the approach talking to that parent has to be somewhat graceful as well.
Right, parents get very defensive over disciplining the other kids. I would rather that conversation happen before the kid gets dropped off, rather than, all right, this is what happened and are you okay with it? Because that doesn't go over well with parents.
Okay, wonderful. Appreciate the advice, Dr. Yasinski.
Thanks.
Thank you very much for coming in this morning.